the best version of you. Let known influencers such as Saucony Prince and Dr. Ruben West show you how to overcome and move forward and get to the next stage of your life. You don't want to miss this, Kansas City. August 25th to the 27th, ComeChangeYourLife.com. Host Brenda Ringwood and Terrence Lethbridge bring quality speakers. Go on over to ComeChangeYourLife.com because change happens here.
You know how a lot of people say that being successful is a great thing? Well, it really is. Yet having a successful mindset is the thing that propels people to their ultimate success. Now, many of us get stagnated. So, have you been stagnated and stuck from realizing your dreams because of fears and uncertainties and your mind telling you what if, and you never move into action? Well, you don't have to be stuck anymore. You can break free from the mind's default framework of backing down and freezing on the track to success. When doubts and difficulties arise, I've got something for you. It's called Harnessing Your Thoughts, Take the Reins, Control Your Life, and Win. And this new book is going to help you to cultivate critical thinking skills and harness those thoughts that you need to take back your control of everyday situations and win. So come and get your book on Amazon July 4th, 2023. It's coming to you to help you enhance your mindset like never before. This powerful book is going to give you the strategies, tips, and tools that you need to really harness your thoughts, take the reins, control your life, because it's time for you to win.
Of yourself is a journey. When you believe in yourself, you can move mountains. Let's start your journey today at ComeChangeYourLife.com. All you have to do is take the first step, and we will help you along the way. Are you ready? Change starts now. Become the best version of yourself. Reach for the world. Kansas City is coming. ComeChangeYourLife.com.
She Exists magazine, one of America's fastest growing publications, the best in travel, fashion, food, and entertainment from around the world. Check out our first edition of He Exists magazine. Looking for an ad space or feature? Contact us for your next stop. She Exists magazine, digital publication coming soon. Subscribe today.
Becoming the best you. Where superheroes are made. Become your own superhero. You can do it. Stop being the sidekick. You are a superhero. Show us your power. Join us today and reach for the world. Learn how at becoming the best you. With Johnny Avocado and Kenya Crafts, Brenda Ringwood and Terrence Lethbridge, and other amazing superhero people. So grab your cape, superhero, and meet us there. Only at Becoming the Best You. ComeChangeYourLife.com. That's ComeChangeYourLife.com. August 25th through the 27th, Kansas City. Become the best you today. Hello. I am so excited today because we have a guest on the show that is a friend of mine. You know, I have a relationship with a lot of the guests that we have on the show, but this lady right here, when you need something, she's there for you. And that's important, especially when you're on a movement that is about becoming the best you, because you need people like that in your life. And one of the things that I've realized from my past is that I've always had the wrong people in my life. I had the people that wanted to ride on my coattails or were there for me as long as things were being handed out. But the minute that things were stopped being handed out, they too stopped coming around. This gal is not like that. In fact, she has been such a big supporter of Becoming the Best You that she runs shows for us. She brings people on to talk about past experiences from our events. She does anything that we need her to do that is going to benefit both of us. Did you hear that? Benefit both of us, because that's what a relationship is. You see, a relationship is a two-way street. The phone works both ways. Planes fly both ways. The road travels both ways. If you find yourself in a relationship where it's one-sided, then you might want to reevaluate where you are, because when we're spending more time chasing people, then we really can't be working on becoming the best version of ourselves. So I'm excited to bring up Dr. Lotus Riche, my dear friend. And she's just so much more. She is a fabulous woman. She's an author. We're going to talk about that. She's a host. She MC. She's a speaker. She's just got this resume full of talent. Lotus, welcome to Becoming the Best You. Oh, I can't hear you. You're muted.
Hello, Brenda. How are you?
How are you? I am wonderful.
Thank you so much for having me here tonight.
You know, I was just telling our guests about our relationship, because relationships are important. And, you know, last time I did a conference, I spoke on the word ship because it means the state of something. Like a relationship means the state of. Yes. A marriage has a marriage ship, stewardship. It means the state of something. And when the state of something isn't right, you still have a relationship with it, good, yes, bad, or indifferent. And I wanted to bring you on because you have this book that you just wrote, yes, that touches on so many things about a person and how it can help you to become the best version of yourself. But before we get to that, I want to hear you tell us how you become the best version of yourself.
Well, every day in every way, I always start out my day with giving thanks and having gratitude. And there's the bell. Thank you, God, for saying that. It's my bell. But anyway, I give thanks. I give thanks for just the air in my lungs. I give thanks for waking up another day. I give thanks just to be able to be a blessing to bless someone. So I think that's really big, starting the day off with gratitude. Even my team, we start off with gratitude. What are we grateful for? I think that's really big key. Yeah,
it is. And I have witnessed some of your team meetings where you absolutely do that. I have witnessed prayer in the team meetings. I have witnessed going around the room where you actually talk about things before you get started in business. And a lot of people don't do that. And I think our society is really missing out, because when we don't care about the people that we work with, then it really is just a job and you're really just doing it for the wrong reasons.
That's true. You know, I think one of the biggest reasons why I do what I do, and I've learned this from many people that have gone on before me. Some have left the planet and some are still on the planet. But I think one of the biggest reasons that I do it is because it really helps me to harness my thoughts. It helps me to decide what I want my day to be like. I don't care what anyone else's thoughts of what my day should be. I want to know what the Most High has for me, what the I am inside of me has for me. And that it's really about, in my opinion, about harnessing your thoughts.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Which is kind of what your book's about, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is.
So let's talk about that. But before you even go there, tell me why you wrote it.
So, you know, you know, you've been there. You were there for me when I was going through this transition with my mom, when she was transitioning to her next level of life. I was going through a real rough patch throughout the whole transition. My hair was falling out, and I really didn't share this with anybody. And I really hadn't started talking about this till I started talking about the book and why I created the book. So my hair was falling out. I was losing my pigmentation, and I didn't understand what was going on. And then most recently, it dawned on me, it was because of my stress level. Mm-hmm. But during that time, because I actually started writing this book when my mother was ill. So one day I woke up and I got the message, you got to harness your thoughts.
Mm.
You gotta take the reins. You got to control your own life so that you can win through this ordeal. Because I don't know about people out there, but I would imagine for many people who have lost a parent, it is one of the most devastating things that you can go through, especially if you're very, very close. And so the book came at a time when I needed to harness my thoughts because I was really with my mother for the last months of her life. Before then, we would go home every like maybe 3 times a month. We were home because we were really close, right? And so being there, helping her to navigate her illness and life and death, entering into death, really took a toll on me, as it would, I would imagine, anyone. And
It did. And Lotus, I know you took time off of work to take care of her. You
yeah,
you put life on pause.
yeah.
And not a lot of people would do that. And I admire you for that.
Well, thank you. And you know, Brenda, I was actually scheduled to come and speak at the Becoming the Best You conference
You
during
were.
this time, and I had to call and I had to cancel. And I want to thank you too, Brenda, because you were so loving, you were so understanding, and you sent me the video so that I really felt a part of it. And that's a part of becoming the best you. So, and harnessing your thoughts too. So thank you, Brenda.
Absolutely. So how long did this book take you to write? Because you said you started it while your mother was going through her illness on her
Right.
journey. So how long and what was the process?
The
This
book,
is like your other books.
no, it's not.
Mhm.
This is really a book designed to help entrepreneurs, and that's what I thought at first. But it is a book that's going to help entrepreneurs really help themselves and craft a way of being so that they can harness their thoughts and win. But not just entrepreneurs. If you're a stay-at-home mom, guess what? You're running the business. You're running the business of keeping your family intact. Okay. You're
And
going
it's a big job.
It's a huge job. It's a huge job. It's a thankless job for
Mhm.
many women or even stay-at-home dads. Sometimes you just don't get the thank you, but they also have to harness their thoughts. For the college student, you've got to harness your thoughts. For people in the military, you know, I'm prior military, you've got to harness your thoughts so you can get through the difficult times so you can still come out and have the success you deserve.
Mhm.
So the length of the book, I actually did not time it. I think that I think that once I surrendered to the fact that I had to write the book, it took off.
Mm.
But I did a lot of research. And a lot of the research that I did was from people from very diverse areas in life. So I talk about the perspective from a monk's point of view. Okay.
Mhm.
I talk about how the monk, and I don't want to give too much away. I talk about the monk, and you have to read the book to find out which monk, and he's very well known. I talk about the 5 hindrances of self mastery in this book. I talk about the
Mm.
ripple effect. I have information from Fitzgerald F. Scott that really weighed heavily on me. Even Mr. Les Brown, and so many other amazing people that talk about a spiritual path to help you be creative. And so when we're harnessing our thoughts, the thing that Mr. Walt Disney said is that all of our dreams can come true if we have the
Mhm.
courage to really pursue them.
And
And
that's where
that's a
people
little
don't,
bit
they
of
don't pursue
harnessing
them.
our thoughts.
Yeah,
Say again?
right. I said that's what happens is people don't pursue it. They have these dreams and they
Exactly.
wants and desires, but then they say it's never going to happen, so they just let it die instead of finding a way to make it happen.
Yes, that's true. That's true. And I love that. I love that. So I think the long and short of it all is it did take less collectively, just all my sit down time. I think it took less than 6 months to write.
Mm,
Um,
okay.
but but it took over a year and a half for it to come to the forefront, for me to sit down and buckle down and get ready to release it. And then, I had to put some final touches on it. And the Lord laid it on my heart for one particular person to do the foreword, Miss Kim Jacobs from the Kim Jacobs Show. And that went into final review about 2 months ago. And then we did another the final review after the foreword was in, was done about a month ago. So, yeah.
Well, before we get into that, let's watch this clip about your book.
You know how a lot of people say that being successful is a great thing? Well, it really is. Yet having a successful mindset is the thing that propels people to their ultimate success. Now, many of us get stagnated. So, have you been stagnated and stuck from realizing your dreams because of fears and uncertainties and your mind telling you what if, and you never move into action? Well, you don't have to be stuck anymore. You can break free from the mind's default framework of backing down and freezing on the track to success. When doubts and difficulties arise, I've got something for you. It's called Harnessing Your Thoughts, Take the Reins, Control Your Life, and Win. And this new book is going to help you to cultivate critical thinking skills and harness those thoughts that you need to take back your control of everyday situations and win. So come and get your book on Amazon July 4th, 2023. It's coming to you to help you enhance your mindset like never before. This powerful book is going to give you the strategies, tips, and tools that you need to really harness your thoughts, take the reins, control your life, because it's time for you to win.
Welcome to Becoming the Best You, where superheroes are made. Become your own superhero. You can do it. Stop being the sidekick. You are a superhero. Show us your power. Join us today and reach for the world. Learn how at Becoming the Best You with Johnny Avocado and Kenya Crafts, Brenda Ringwood and Terrence Lethbridge, and other amazing superhero people. So grab your cape, superhero, and meet us there. Only at Becoming the Best.
So, yeah.
Well, before we get into that, let's watch this clip about your book.
Okay.
Because when we don't care about the people that we work with, then it really is just a job and you're really just doing it for the wrong reasons.
That's true. I think one of the biggest reasons why I do what I do, and I've learned this from many people that have gone on before me. Some have left the planet and some are still on the planet. But I think one of the biggest reasons that I do it is because it really helps me to harness my thoughts. It helps me to decide what I want my day to be like. I don't care what anyone else's thoughts of what my day should be. I want to know what the Most High has for me, what the I am inside of me has for me. And that it's really about, in my opinion, about harnessing your thoughts.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Which is kind of what your book's about, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is.
So let's talk about that. But before you even go there, tell me why you wrote it.
So, you know, you've been there. You were there for me when I was going through this transition with my mom when she was
Mhm.
transitioning to her next level of life. I was going through a real rough patch throughout the whole transition. My hair was falling out, and I really didn't share this with anybody, and I really hadn't started talking about this till I started talking about the book and why I created the book. So my hair was falling out, I was losing my pigmentation, and I didn't understand what was going on. And then most recently, it dawned on me it was because of my stress level.
Mhm.
But
Commercial about this book that I just think everybody needs to hear of. How do you harness thoughts? You know, they're all over the place. You can't stop them from coming. How do you actually do it? Can you read us a blurb from it?
oh, of course, of course. So before I get into one part of the chapter, it's been noted that on average, people have approximately 12,000 thoughts, you know, or 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day.
It's a lot.
And of all of those thoughts, yeah, that's a lot, right? And of all those thoughts, you know, we have thousands of thoughts, and approximately 80% are negative, and 95% were precisely the same reoccurring thought, day
Wow.
after day after day. And oftentimes, when we don't ask ourselves, what are we thinking? And that's a portion of the book. What are we thinking? And why are we thinking? This book is going to help you really get into that so that you understand what you're thinking, why you're thinking it, and how to overcome it, especially if it's negative, and how to
What
reposition
do you do with
yourself
it?
as positive.
What do you
Say
do
again.
with what do you do with it is my thing. You know, we have these thoughts, but what do you do with it? Do you
So
put it into action? Do you store them away? Do you ignore them? Do you tell people about them? And then which ones?
exactly. I love that you asked that question because in this book, Harnessing Your Thoughts, Take the Reins, Control Your Life and Win, it's a very interactive book. It's asking you to think about what you're doing, write it down because it's giving you a schematic
Hmm.
so that you can look at your thoughts and say, okay, even if it's a negative thought, okay, it's a negative thought. So what do I do with it from here? You write that down and then you either accept, embrace, or you push it away in the trash can where it belongs. So I want to read a little excerpt from the book. It says, How to Manage Our Mind. Many of us um, have a challenge in managing our mind. And so this is why I want to read this. So it says, Many of us have thought uh, leaders who we follow to gain wisdom. One of my mentors, as we are spiritual beings having a human experience, is Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill started his career teaching courses and selling and advertising and structuring classes on the principle that a positive attitude, unyielding personal development, and consistent hard work are the keys to success and creating and sustaining riches. In the process of creating his reality, he became a persistent producer of motivational quotes. One of his quotes, as it pertains to the mind and manifesting, which I hold close to my heart and mind, is any idea, plan, or purpose may be placed in the mind through repetition of thought. And in this book, you will use repetition of thought to help you gain the success you need and desire to think and grow rich. We must all think first. And in order to think, we have to know what we're thinking about. Think about what we desire to evolve into relentless, positively, fearlessly sacrificing all false evidence that appears real to us. Let it go straight to hell from
Yeah,
whence it
absolutely. And
never,
you know, Napoleon Hill's been
never.
around a long time. So, and his stuff is still going strong. So that tells
Exactly.
you it has a value. And that's what I want to talk about with you. I want people to understand the value of relationships,
Yes.
friendships, your thoughts, your ideas, your imagination, your mental health. There is a value to that. And
Yes.
when you don't value that, that's when you get depressed because you're worried about the wrong things. You're worried about what other people think. You're worried about the world, right? Instead of doing what you need to do for you. And that's what I love about this book. And it brings all the value that Dr. Lotus Riche has into one book. And
Yes.
it gives us your experiences, your education through it, your thought process through it, and then you've combined it with other people, not other people that have written the book with you, but other people, like the quotes that you have in there. And then you've given this advice on not only can you harness your thoughts, this is how, when not to, what to look at, what not to look at. Who doesn't need that? I mean, that is a value.
Yes, and everybody needs it. And you know, Brenda, I want to say this to you too, because so many people when they talk about the adversary, and I speak to this about the adversary, they think it's some entity with a pitchfork and all that. And I
It's
talk
not.
directly to this. No, I'm not talking about an entity with the
Mm-hmm.
horns and a pitchfork. The adversary is any opposing force that works against your true ordained path of excellence. That's in the book. And so this book is going to help you reveal your true ordained path of excellence by doing what? Telling the truth to yourself.
And that's one of the things that I tell people on becoming the best you. To
Yes.
become the best version of yourself, you just got to stop believing the lies that you tell yourself,
Yes, that's
because
true.
we lie to ourselves. We think we're not good enough. We think because of this we can't do that, or I'm fat so I can't do that, only if I had this, only if, or because of that. And that's just not true. Your life is what you make of it, and it's a mindset. And your books, I'm sure, has so much in there that's going to explain how to harness that.
Yes. And I think once people really dive into the book, it's going to allow them just to walk the journey
Hmm.
with this book in hand. Because a part of me is walking the journey with every reader. And you might say, how can you do that? Because the book is coming from the energy that God
Hmm.
gave me. And I know some people may say, well, I don't believe in God, and that's their belief. I
Right.
respect any person's belief, but I believe I come from a higher source of energy, and the higher source of energy gave messages to me to come through me and out to the world to help them. And this is how I'm going to be able to walk with people on their journey through this book, because I'm holding them accountable in this book to be honest with themselves. I'm holding them accountable to tell themselves the truth, no matter how hard it is, no matter how much you got to cry, your nose might get snotty. Keep wiping that snot off and keep on moving forward so that you can harness your thoughts and win. And this book is going to help you walk that journey so that you can win in so many areas of your life. So many.
You have a show that you do that talks about books.
Yes.
So I have to ask you this, because I believe that this is going to be true. I think this is going to be one of your best books that you've written, because it is so real. Not that your other ones aren't, but this is so real. This is the real Lotus Riche.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Hmm.
it is. Thank you so
So,
much.
so it can't get any better than that.
Yes, that's
Hmm.
true. Brenda, I think it is so great because I came through such a rough time. And so many of us, we hit the lowest of the lows, and sometimes we think we can't get back up, but I'm telling you, we can. It's like skipping a rock on the ocean, and it's the ripple effect that spans as far as we can see that helps us to really get back up and keep on keeping on.
You
Just like
know,
it's nice.
that is so true. And I turned my computer screen a little bit because the sun's coming in. It was doing this, but I noticed that little girl in the background. You see that little girl back there? That's me at about 2 years old. And one of our Becoming the Best You speakers, Erin Page, when I first met her, she brought her picture of her when she was about this age, maybe a little older. And it
Yes.
was, this little girl was so happy and she was smiling, and she did this whole exercise of, I want to be that again. Where did that little girl go? And
Yes.
sometimes we go through we talk ourselves out of happiness. We talk ourselves out of relationships. We talk ourselves out of having the dream job or writing that book or taking that dive or taking that step out of fear. And, you know, what happens to those kids? Because we don't have that when we're little. And then we grow up and we lose all of that. And to be able to harness your thoughts and put them on a path. That's what I think this book is going to do for people.
And unequivocally it will. And it ties into becoming the best you, because it helps the reader to really delve inside and find their true self.
There you go.
And the thing is that the book will evoke critical thinking that's going to help you to decide. And even in the book, I say, decide. Your failure or success starts with your decision. It's a state of mind. You must have a made up mind either way.
And, you know, when you equate a success to money and material things, you're already setting yourself up for failure. Exactly. But when you reach success in, like, I can successfully wash the dishes. Yes. I can successfully go to work. I can successfully do the things that I want to do in small steps to get more successful at the things that I want to do. But when I try to compare it to, that's where I'm messing up. Take those small wins and build on those small wins. And who cares if your house isn't as big as your neighbors or your uncles or your best friends or, you know, whatever else. Because I'm going to tell you, I have a friend, and she makes about $200,000 a year in a job, and she's got a $500,000 mortgage payment. And she really loves the side business that she's doing, but she just can't find the time or the money to make it go. And I said, all your kids are going to get a smaller house. How about getting a smaller house and going from a $5,000 mortgage payment to $1,000 mortgage payment? Now you got the same job, so you still have $4,000 a month to grow this business where you might be able to quit that job. And the first thing she said is, what will people think?
It's the days. I have a book that's coming out, but you know, that's so funny because Dave Ramsey in the Total Money Makeover, he talks about the Joneses and that the Joneses don't know how to count.
No,
we're so worried about the Joneses, and in my book I talk about the ripple effect. It's ripple effect time. Okay, and in the ripple effect time, I take people on a journey. This is an exercise that they go through, and they put their name in, and they fulfill the exercise that's in here. And this is something that kind of really resonated with me from Jose Silva, because Jose Silva taught me how to get into my special place of peace and harmony. And this is what I would say, I hope for your friend, that she's listening to this broadcast, to know that the days don't matter, because their good evenings don't put food on your table.
That's right.
And so in your ripple effect, you've got to get in the place where you can breathe. And I talk about that in the ripple effect. And so that you can release all these other things around you that do not serve you. Because at the end of the day, the days around you are not going to pay your bills.
Nope. That's right. They're not, and neither are the people.
That's right. Exactly.
Neither are the people. I had to learn that the hard way myself. And, you know, most people really aren't going to think poorly of you for doing that because you're going after your dreams. You're just thinking that they are. And if you're basing a decision on that, I would admire her for, you know what, I'm going to have to go live in a tent if this is what I want my life to look like eventually.
Exactly. And this is going to be a great book for her, of course, especially the whole book is great. The whole book, it's not great. What's the other word that means better than great? It's that, right?
Yeah.
But the ripple effect portion is going to be great for her because it asks her flat out, you know, what are her hopes and dreams? You know, basically list 3 things that she wants to gain. And what is her why in gaining it?
And that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. This book is so powerful because, again, it goes back to critical thinking. It goes back to manifestation. It goes back to understanding who you are, because a lot of us want these big fancy houses and cars, not to please ourselves, but to please the people around us, because this is what society tells us we have to have. But when you harness your thoughts, you take the reins, you control your life, you will win, because you're you're marching to the own beat of your own drum, and
That's
you're
right.
dictating the type of life that you want for yourself.
That's right. And I think you're speaking in August, so I'm
Yes,
pretty sure they can come get a signed copy from you at that event.
of course they can. I'd love to.
Mhm. And where can they go? Can they go to your website? Where can they go to get this? Because I know it's coming out soon.
Yes. So they can go right to www.lotusriche ignites. Go right there. We'll be having some
Right here in
information
the
on
links.
our
Right here
website.
in the links.
Pardon?
I said right here in the links.
Exactly. And then you can also connect with me. You can email us, lotus at lotusriche.ignitesyou.com. That's an email. You can get on our early bird list. We'll have a link coming out here soon. It'll be advertised on the BTBY, of course. It will
Mhm.
also be advertised on all of my social media platforms because we want to welcome people for the 4th of July. This book is coming out, and we want to welcome you to go ahead and get your reserved copy of this amazing book because I'm sure that this book is going to fly off the shelf. So you want to get your copy.
Oh, I have no doubt your work has always been spectacular. So I do think this is going to be some of your best work yet.
Thank
Now,
you.
with that being said, tell us a little bit about what you actually do for a living besides
So
writing books.
besides writing books, I actually help others write their books and promote them and things of that nature. But my company is called Lotus Riche Coaching and Consulting LLC. And under that umbrella is the Lotus Riche Ignite shows. Books to boom your business, news you can use and bring who you are. These are shows that are geared toward people to help people live their best life and be the best that they can be. And so outside of the shows, what my company does is we partner with amazing corporations just like yours, and we help them to tell their story either in video. We also do business training. I'm also a certified dish trainer, so I go into companies and I look at where they're struggling at, and I'm able to ascertain why they're struggling. And I give them an assessment for that, and I also help them to create a solution so that they can take care of the problems that they're facing within their organizations. And fortunately, we've been very fortunate to have anywhere from a 95 to 98% increase in the behaviors of the employees, and we've really helped people to stop the bleeding with high turnover.
Mm,
So that's just a part of what we do when we go in and we train businesses.
that's
And
pretty
then,
good. That's pretty good
yes,
return. Mhm.
yes, yeah, excellent return. And
Yes.
we'll be in Japan next month, and I'll be speaking at one of the schools there in Japan because we also work with people in education because, of
Mhm.
course, people in education help us to harness our thoughts.
That's right. And you know what? Our youth are our future. I have my BTBY youth shirt on, and the back of it says "Save our youth, save our future." And I think there's some Dr. Riche that's joined our team on that to go into the schools
Yes,
in the United States. Mhm.
yes, and I can't wait. I can't wait for to start doing some of the talks here in the United States, and I can't wait, Brenda, for us to take BTBY to Japan
Mm.
so
Oh, I
that we
can't either.
can
I think
start
that would be a
talking to the
blast.
folks in the school. So,
Mhm.
for those of you that are wondering what Dr. Lotus Riche is going to be doing in Okinawa and in Yokosuka and in Sasebo, I'll be broadcasting about my book and I'll be broadcasting about my company, but I'm going to also be broadcasting about the BTBY and preparing some things for us to move right into Japan with
And
the
then we're ready. And I know your military
yes,
background put you over there, didn't it? Which is where your connection started, or something with your
yes,
upbringing or your actual time in the service yourself.
yes. Actually, I worked for the Department of Defense. And since I already had a background in security, I also have a psychology degree, so I have a clinical background as well. So I was very blessed to be able to go over to Japan and work as a counselor for substance use disorder and mental illness.
Mhm.
And I tell you, for the 3 years that I lived and worked in Japan, something that I learned is really pervasive, Brenda, is that people really just want to harness their life and harness their thoughts and become the best them that they can be.
They really do. Some people just need a cheerleader. They need that person in the corner that's going to help them. And your advice in this book, I know, is going to be dead on, because the advice that you've given me over the last couple of years that we've known each other has been spot on. I mean, there's been no lying. Everything that you've said has happened or will happen or has happened the way that you said it's going to happen. And that means something to me, because I know that I'm getting the truth from you. And I think your book is full of the truth.
Thank you. And it is. And here's the thing, I learned that when the Most High did the download to me and I wrote it, it's coming from so many different perspectives. So there's something in it for everybody who really wants to harness their thoughts and improve. Because here's what I had to learn about harnessing my thoughts. I couldn't stop with just one person that I thought was dynamic. I couldn't stop with just one spiritual leader. I had to look at many spiritual leaders that stood out. I had to look at people that wrote books and that gave talks and that were really passionate about helping other people. And I couldn't care about what religion they were in, what country they were in, whether they were male or female or whatever. I just had to take the information, absorb it, and say, okay, you tell me what to do. How can I help people harness their thoughts? And like I said, I went to sleep one night, woke up the next day, like, oh my God, my head was everywhere. I'm going through this tough time. Girl, you got to harness your thoughts.
Absolutely. Because if you don't, you're gonna run away with them, and nothing good comes from that.
Exactly. And that's why my hair was falling out. My pigmentation was leaving, because I was under so much stress. And this book is also going to help people to deal with stress, to kind of tame that stress, to alleviate that stress. And I tell you, Brenda, I really believe that when we start earthing, and this is going out, connecting with the earth, it also helps us to harness our thoughts better, because our body, our energy is in alignment.
Very true.
In alignment.
Very true. I was talking with a couple, a mother-daughter duo, and they do shadow work. And that scares a lot of people, because when you think shadow work, you're thinking demons and all these things. Right. It's your own demons. It's not the spiritual realm coming in to get you. It is your own demons, and facing what's wrong within you and correcting that so that you can move on with your life, put it behind you. And that's one of the things that I love about you, because you are so non-judgmental. You just do not judge. When I first met you, we were talking because I was coming out of prison, and I talked to you about your history as a prison guard, and that's really the first time we had a conversation.
Exactly.
And then we started this From Felon to Fabulous, and you agreed to be on the board because you truly want to help people get to the next level of their life, and without the judging, to let them see that they're still people. They still have a value. They still have a worth. They still have a life.
Yes.
And so many of us, you don't have to be in prison. I have a friend that stays mentally incarcerated every day of her life, and it's a choice. And I can't get her to break free of it, and I can't until she decides that she's going to open those doors.
And this will be a great book for her, because it will take her through the foibles of where she is in her mind, staying stuck, how to release herself. It will take her on a journey. It will make her do her critical thinking. It will have her write and really avail. This is one reason why people who work with people, whether it's being a coach, being a transformation strategist, being a minister, or what have you, people that understand that our thoughts help us navigate our future will often tell you, get a notepad and journal this. Yes. This is why I always say note takers are money makers, and money makers are note takers. But you got to write down the notes, because
you got to go back and look at the notes.
Yeah. You can't make change without the notes. You got to go back and refer to it. And this book is going to help people write it down, be clear, and be concise. In the book, I talk about get positively grounded, This book is going to help you get positively grounded. And I got some mantras for you. Those that are ready to really speak into their own heart and soul and into their life. There are some mantras that's going to help people to jumpstart, because you know what? A lot of us don't love ourselves. A lot of us don't love ourselves. And
We
love,
don't.
yeah, and love is a starting place. Even we hear that, love covers a multitude of sin. And I talk about that in the book, but it doesn't only cover sin, but it opens doors. It opens doors of creativity,
It
and it
does, but you know
cultivates
what?
abundance.
When you realize the things that need to change, that's when those doors open.
Yes.
For me, sitting in a literal jail cell, I got to move because the sun is it's coming in crazy. Um, sorry about that. But for me, that door, when it opened, my aha moment, that light bulb came on, because I realized, well, first and foremost, that I put myself there because of my own actions, my own thoughts that I didn't do the right things with. And then I let those thoughts, I acted upon the wrong thought. I acted upon the things that I shouldn't have. And then I dug myself in a hole. But I had to realize that this isn't the end for you.
Right.
You still can make a difference, and you can still change right here in this jail cell.
That's right.
And if I would have had a book like that while I'm sitting in a physical prison,
Yep.
I really think I would have came out stronger, because when I came out, I did come out stronger. I came out stronger in my faith,
Yep.
in the values that I needed to have more value in and of and be aware of. But I was still struggling with my self-esteem. I was still
And
struggling with that.
wow. And I can identify with you in that regard, because I worked in the prison system for 7
Mm-hmm.
amazing,
Yeah,
powerful
you did.
years. And I wish that I had the presence of mind to write this book when I worked in the prison system. And
Yes.
one of the chapters, chapter 3, talks about you were in control.
Mm-hmm.
It
You
talks
are
about
in control, regardless of what you think.
right.
Yeah.
I had a gentleman that worked for me, and he, unfortunately, when he was a teenager, he was home on college break, and he and a friend went in, and they were robbing, I guess, a liquor store, what have you, and they shot the store owner, and they went to jail. He spent over 23 years in prison, and every time he would go up to for his hearing, you know, in jail, you have to be like kind of macho. You can't let people
Well,
see
you
you
think
sweat.
you do. You think
Exactly.
you do.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. That's the thought
Mhm.
that people have. And so every time he would go up for his hearing, he would, so they never saw any remorse. They never saw
You never saw the
the
change.
concern, the repentance, the
Hmm.
change. They never
Yeah.
saw that. And so I talked to him and I said, listen, you're an only child. His father passed away while he was in prison. His mother was ailing. I said, you've got to go home. I said, you are in control, but you have got to get in there and just be who you are. Don't worry about what the folks in here are saying the days. Okay. Focus on the end goal. You take your control back.
Hmm.
You let these people know that you repent and that you really are sorry and that you have
Exactly.
changed. And when he took control and said, "This is what I'm going to do," do you know? I had left the system, but he asked me. He said, "Miss Riche, can you write me a letter?" I said, "Yes." I wrote the letter, and because he asked, because he took control, I went and I talked to the warden. I talked to my supervisor. Well, guess what? My supervisor said, "I'll write him a letter too." The man, shortly after I left, he was released from prison because he took control.
It
He
took
took his
control.
life back.
Yeah.
He took the reins. And
And
that's
that's just it. People think when those doors are closed
yes,
and locked that they can't, but you can. You
yes,
can. It happened for me. It's happened for many people that I know. It happened for that guy. And, sometimes it'll happen a whole lot sooner if you just let it. We
yes,
put our own
yes,
barriers in the way because our thoughts become those barriers.
yes,
Mhm.
yes. And one thing can just hold us back if we let it. You know, we sometimes we're doing great in one area, but because we're thinking, oh, I'm not good enough, or this person is better than me, these self-defeating thoughts, they really stifle us. But once we take ownership of what we want to do to control our own lives, it really changes the trajectory of our lives and also the lives that we're responsible for.
That's
Because we
so
all
true.
are responsible
We
to
absolutely
help
are.
other people and to help guide and to help heal.
That's
So
right.
yeah,
Especially those that are important to us.
exactly.
You know, our family and our family. That is a very true statement, but it
Yes,
doesn't mean we don't do it.
exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly.
Well,
And
Lotus,
this book, go
go,
ahead.
no, go ahead.
And this book is going to talk about that too. You know, a lot of times people want to live vicariously through us, our parents, our preachers, our
Hmm.
teachers, our siblings, our friends, our frenemies. And this book helps us to identify that and identify how to move away from that. And it helps walk us through that journey of allowing ourselves just to be and not to succumb to what other people want us to be for
Mm.
their story of life, but so that we can live our own story of life.
And that is so true. And you guys are seeing a different side of Dr. Lotus Riche right now. You guys are seeing what I've always seen in her. You're seeing the person that we all love. This is the person that we see behind the scenes. This is the lady who extends that hand of friendship and that help. This is the lady that really does want to see you get better, to do better. It's not all the hype of the shows and everything else that she does, although that is very true and real. This lady that you see right now is Dr. Lotus Riche. And this is
Yes.
the side that I wanted to see. So I like to call this our casual conversation with Dr. Lotus Riche because that's
Yeah.
what this is. Hmm.
Yes. And you know, and I'm happy you said that because, you know, a lot of times people be like, oh, Dr. Lotus, she's, you know, she's that. Yes, that's all me. But there were some times when, Brenda, I just want to sit down and I just want to be a part of what's going on. I don't
Right.
want to have to drive everything that's going on. Um, and how I know that I'm in the right place and in the right space because when I'm supposed to share what's in here, I get
Hmm.
that burst of energy to give because
Hmm.
you give a lot of energy too. And so you know that giving all this energy out, it can really deplete us if we're not careful.
If you let it, that's right. Hmm.
Exactly. And so this is where the other side of Lotus Riche, before the titles, before the shows, before even
Hmm.
the business, I just sit and I've learned to come into oneness. And I'm still learning. I'm still learning every day. But what I do know, I've shared in this book just a portion of what I know. Okay. So that it can help serve someone else. I
Hmm.
almost said serve and save. And I don't know why the word save came to mind, but I guess to save you from beating yourself up, save you
Hmm.
from just judging yourself, save you from telling yourself that you can't do it when you really, really can. Save you from believing that you're all alone because you're really not. And this book can help you understand not only that you're not alone, but people just like you, just like me, have been on similar journeys, even though your journey is your own. We've been on similar journeys and we've come out. And so can you. In this book, Harnessing Your Thoughts, Take the Reins, Control Your Life, and Win, can help you to come out.
Oh,
And
absolutely. Yeah, I can't wait to read it. I don't have a copy of it yet. So I'm going to have to, I guess I'm going to have to wait and get my signed copy in August.
yes, well, you'll probably, I don't want to give any secret sizzling sauce away, but Brenda, I can't wait till you get it in your hands. That's what I'll say to you. And the 4th of July, we are going to open up, and I would love for you to join us the 4th of July. You'll have a link where you can go on Amazon and you can purchase it. We're looking to become a #1 international best-selling book, and we need your help, our viewers, to help
Mhm.
make that a reality.
So BTB Wires, you need to help Dr. Lotus Riche. She helps us. She has been there with her time, with her energy. And let me tell you, her time is worth money. So she's donated lots of money to this cause because she believes that people can become the best versions of themselves. Sometimes we just need a little help, and this book is exactly what we need. How long is the book?
How long is the book? You mean page wise? How
Mm-hmm.
many pages?
Yes.
How many pages? Yes. Okay, so the book is about maybe 85 to 90 pages. Yeah, off the
So
top
it's
of
a
my head. It's
great
about 85
read.
to 90
It's
pages.
something you can pick up. You're
Oh,
not
yeah.
going to get, it's not going to be so hard or long or deep that you can't apply it, or that you're going to say, I can't get through this. So that's the perfect size for a book that's going to teach you to harness your thoughts, because you can keep going with it to see, I got to get to the end, and not realize that it's going to be 2 months before you get to the end of this book. It's going to be
Exactly.
a fast read that you can go back and use as a handbook. I know how you are, Lotus. I know that this is going to be a book that they're not going to want to, even though they've read it, they're going to keep going back to it. They're going to
Yes.
keep
And,
going
and
back to it as a
yeah,
reference point. Take
yeah.
notes in the book.
Yes, yes.
Underline it. Take
Then
notes in the book.
and then after the paperback comes out, we will be holding a master class. 2 weeks after the book comes out, we will be holding a master class. So I'll be sharing that with the link where people can go ahead and purchase their ticket for the master class. It's going to be phenomenal. And during the master class, I'm going to have some surprise guests that's going to come in and share in their wealth of knowledge as well, and give some free things away.
Well, I can't wait for it all. Thank you, Dr. Lotus Riche, for your time, for pouring into people, because if more people would do that, I don't think our world would be as violent and as mean and sad and lonely as it is today. And I don't just mean in America. I mean all over. People are people. I don't care where you live in this world. We are still people. We have the same thoughts. We have the same emotions. We're just people going through the motions. But what if you could control it to be successful at what you're wanting in life?
Exactly. And we really can, by harnessing our thoughts. And there are methods and techniques in this book that's going to help you harness your thoughts, going to help you remove hindrances. It's just amazing. I get excited every time I think about it.
Well, look at the links below. Go on over to her website, see what's going on. She's got more than just this book out, by the way. Go see what she's all about. Follow her on all of her stuff. Watch her shows. They are always inspirational. There is something for everybody. She has fantastic guests. She vets everybody before she has them. And I know this because I just sent somebody her way, and we had to have a meeting before we could do the show. So she vets her people. So you're getting quality on her shows. So again, Lotus, any last words parting?
Well, Brenda, as always, you're just an excellent host. I want to thank you for sharing your light and love and bringing me on your show to speak with your vast audience. So I'm just so happy to be here today. And I'm really happy to be a part of the BTY movement. I'm happy to be a part of From Felon to Fabulous. And BTBY, that's all I'm going to say. Right?
That's right.
So I'm really happy to be a part of that.
Yeah. You are part of that core.
Thank you so much.
Well, we wouldn't be where we're at right now if it wasn't for people like you and all the work that you yourself, not just people like you, but you, the real Dr. Lotus Riche, you've put work into this, and it's very much appreciated, and we love you for it.
Thank you. And I love you right back.
Love you too. Bye-bye. Stay tuned. Hello, my name is Brenda Ringwood. I am the founder of the Becoming the Best You movement, where we help people become the best versions of themselves. I want to talk to you today about Dr. Lotus Riche's Harness Your Thoughts book that's coming out. You see, I'm out here walking my property. It's very peaceful. I live in the country, and I didn't used to have peace in my life. And if I would have had a book like hers a whole lot sooner, I probably would have started the movement BTBY a whole lot sooner. Because you see, I needed to harness those thoughts. I was using my thoughts for negativity, and I was thinking I wasn't good enough, and I just wasn't living to my full potential, and I had to realize that I had a value and a worth. And her book helps you to harness those thoughts, to get over the why me instead of the why not me. Why not you? You have a value. You have a great future in store for you. Use this book to set that future up. Harness those thoughts to propel your life forward. Dr. Lotus Riche's book is just phenomenal.
You know how a lot of people say that being successful is a great thing? Well, it really is. Yet having a successful mindset is the thing that propels people to their ultimate success. Now, many of us get stagnated. So, have you been stagnated and stuck from realizing your dreams because of fears and uncertainties and your mind telling you what if, and you never move into action? Well, you don't have to be stuck anymore. You can break free from the mind's default framework of backing down and freezing on the track to success. When doubts and difficulties arise, I've got something for you. It's called Harnessing Your Thoughts, Take the Reins, Control Your Life, and Win. And this new book is going to help you to cultivate critical thinking skills and harness those thoughts that you need to take back your control of everyday situations and win. So come and get your book on Amazon July 4th, 2023. It's coming to you to help you enhance your mindset like never before. This powerful book is going to give you the strategies, tips, and tools that you need to really harness your thoughts, take the reins, control your life, because it's time for you to win.
Life.com. That's comechangeyourlife.com. August 25th through the 27th, Kansas City. Become the best you today.